Happy 4th of July, everybody. Today is Sunday, July 4th. It's also the 14th Sunday in Ordinary Time in the liturgical world. In the civil world, it is, of course, the 4th of July, Independence Day. It's so nice to be with you on this beautiful day that we're celebrating our country's independence. We need to pray, though. We need to continue to pray for our country and our leaders. That we render to Caesar what is Caesar, but to render to God what is God. And that's something that's very crucial in religious liberty. To render to Caesar what is Caesar. The government has a responsibility, the community has a responsibility, but also we have a responsibility to God. And we have to render to Caesar what is Caesar, but we have to render to God what is God's. And that's our Lord's teaching. And I think it's very important because it helps us understand, of course, religious freedom and religious liberty. Same thing. Our rights and our privileges and our duties and what this country was founded on. The principles of our Judeo-Christian beliefs. And I think it's very important that we uphold that. I hope we don't get to a point where religion is out and everything is secular. And then we're our own gods, aren't we? We're our own gods, and we determine things that are not really for the common good of why we were created in His image and His likeness. So we have to always fight for that, and I think we have to do it in a peaceful, civil way. But I think it has to be on our mind. So every time when we vote, every time when we enact laws, any time that we discuss things for our community, I think we need to have that on our mind, don't you? I absolutely believe that. It's our duty as Catholics. It's our duty as followers of Christ to make sure that that is happening, to render to Caesar what is Caesar's, but to render to God what belongs to God. So, happy 4th of July, everybody. I hope you're going to spend some time with family and friends. Maybe go for a walk, maybe have a barbecue. Maybe you're away and you're viewing this YouTube channel from your shore house or from the Poconos or wherever you are vacationing and taking a little bit of respite. I think it's always good and healthy to take a little bit of respite. Even our Lord did that. He had to rest. The body can do so much and the mind can do so much, right? We need to give our body, our mind, and our soul rest so that we could rejuvenate ourselves, reinvigorate ourselves back into shape. That's why people go on retreat. That's why we have people in Adoration Chapel. We need to recharge the battery so that we could be good and faithful stewards. We could be good and faithful Catholics, good and faithful Christians. Taking a little bit of time during the summer to have a respite is always good. It's a very good thing. So, happy 4th. Just don't have a 5th on the 4th. You know what I mean? That's why I learned that when I was at my parish. This sweet little receptionist at my former parish, she used to answer the door on the phone, and she did the envelopes for the parish. Lovely lady. And every year she would always say, and remember, Father, don't have a 5th on the 4th. And I would say, you're right, I won't. And most of you know I don't drink. I get in enough trouble without drinking. So I don't even add that to my... Socially, sometimes I'll have a glass of wine, of course at a jubilee of a priest celebrating an anniversary or a celebration of a good friend's birthday maybe. But other than that, it's just not my thing. But all in moderation, I think, right? For anyone who does leisure with alcohol, just be careful, right? Because it can be the devil's water. And you have to be very careful of that, because before you know it, we're slipping into a slope that we don't want to go into. But all in leisure, so it should be a problem, right? As long as we know how to control ourselves. And that's the issue. Because when people are driving, we want to make sure our roads are safe and our motorists are kept safe, and our people who are in these cars are kept safe from any kind of danger. So please celebrate wonderfully, but make sure that we celebrate using our minds, okay? Let's look at the gospel today. Today we're celebrating the 14th Sunday in Ordinary Time, like I said to you. So yeah, when it comes to like a civil holiday like 4th of July, we follow a liturgical calendar. I guess you all know that, right? Just because it's 4th of July doesn't mean like da, 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 da. Like Peggy does put out flowers, and you know, we have outside on our campus the flags. I know that Steve Bakey and his sons put them out for Mary Beth, and that's all well and good. I know Peggy did our altar area with some red, white, and blue flowers. Beautiful. Even the candle rings around the candles and circling the altar. Beautiful. She does a great job. Everybody, because they love this place like I do. They take care of it, and they want to do what's nice and beautiful for the honor and glory of God, and to lift us up as well. Well, when we have like a civil holiday fall on a Sunday, it's like, oh, what do we do? Well, the rule of thumb is always to follow the liturgical day, which is the 14th Sunday in Ordinary Time. Now, if the 4th of July happened on a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, we would celebrate a votive Mass for the 4th of July, the USA Independence Day. We have a Mass for that in our Missal. But when it falls on a Sunday, it gets, 4th of July gets bumped off the screen, because render to Caesar what is Caesar, but render to God what is God. So Sunday belongs to God. So we follow the 14th Sunday in Ordinary Time with all of its readings, prayers, psalms. We can also throw in a couple hymns. That's not a problem. Not a problem. But mostly always following the liturgical day. So how about if we look at the gospel today once again? Because I don't know about you, for me, I have to read the gospel a couple times. Once is not enough for me. I mean, it has to feed me internally. I mean, I can't, because you know what they say, you hear it once, okay, you heard it. You hear it twice, it's like, what? You hear it 3 times, you're like, I think I heard that. They say that it's not until the 5th time that you're digesting it. Could you imagine that? Well, let's give this another look. So reading from Mark's Gospel, chapter 6, verses 1 to 6, so 6 verses. So Jesus departed from there and came to his native place, accompanied by his disciples. When the Sabbath came, he began to teach in the synagogue, and many who heard him were astonished. They said, "Where did this man get all this?" In other words, you remember I always say he has brains to sell? What kind of wisdom has been given him? What mighty deeds are wrought by his hands? Is he not the carpenter, the son of Mary, and the brother of James and Joseph, Judas and Simon? And are not his sisters here with us? And they took offense at him. Jesus said to them, "A prophet is not without honor except in his native place and among his own kin and in his own house." So he was not able to perform any mighty deeds there, apart from curing a few sick people by laying his hands on them. He was amazed at their lack of faith. It's kind of sad, isn't it? They took offense at him. Who is he? Isn't he just the regular Joe down the street? Isn't his mother Mary? Isn't his father the carpenter? Isn't his brothers and his sisters this? In other words, don't we know his relatives? I don't want you to think of brothers and sisters again like we think of brothers and sisters. I don't want you to think that way. That's not what the church teaches. He was the only son of Mary and the only Son of God. So when we talk about sisters and brothers of Jesus, relatives, cousins, remember, we're reading the English. We're not reading the original text. And sometimes it's hard to translate. So anyway, they took offense at him. We know who he is. We know he lives here. We know he's the son of Mary and Joseph, his father's a carpenter. We know his sisters and his brothers. The Italians will go like this. Who does he think he is? That little hand gesture. Who does he think he is? What's he think he's a big mahaf? That's what my relatives would say, right? And they took offense at him. Why? Well, I could tell you, jealousy, pride. Jealousy and pride eats the soul. It's like a cancer. It just eats the soul. So if you want to know what eats your soul, jealousy and pride. Just think of the times that you've been jealous of somebody. You know it's not right because it doesn't fit right. Because you were not made that way. When you're full of pride and only you can do it, nobody else can do it just the way you do it. Pride. It eats the soul away. They took offense at him. They were not happy with him. He couldn't perform any miracles except curing a few people by laying his hands on them because of their lack of faith. It's a two-way street, the relationship with Jesus. Jesus is not a big slot machine that you put prayers in and you pull the handle and you get the money prize. No. The relationship that we need to have with Jesus is that we need to submit to him ourselves, our faith, to let go, to let God, to surrender. How do you understand that? I know what I'm saying. A complete surrender. A surrender to God. A sushi pay. To surrender to God. Let him work on us. Give him permission to mold and shape us to where we are supposed to be. Get rid of our pride, get rid of our jealousy, get rid of our envy, get rid of our sloth. Those 7 capital sins that take us over. Right? And the 7 capital sins come in our very being. Because we give him permission to come in. Let's give God permission to come in. There's 7 holes in your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So either evil could come in, the 7 capital sins, or the 7 sacraments could come in. Let God come in. Let God come in and use your flesh for the good. Chase out Satan. Don't let him come in your eyes, through your nose, in your mouth, and through your ears. Let him come in. That is Christ through those vehicles. Let him come in through those vehicles. So, they took offense at him. Are you ever offended at God? Why would you be offended at God? I don't know. You have to ask yourself that question. Because that's what the gospel is calling us to. Are we offended by him? Maybe that's stopping people to move forward in their life by God's grace. They took offense at him. To be open and allow God to do what he needs to do for you is the best thing. He knows what's best for us. That's so very important. He knows what's best for us. Render to Caesar what is Caesar, but render to God what is God's. Once you do that, you begin to see everything is balanced. Your equilibrium is not thrown off. Your equilibrium is thrown off by evil, but it's put in balance by God's perspective in the sacraments. I think we all need to be grounded in that. So don't take offense at God. He challenges us. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to deny that God challenges us. But we're called to greater things. And once we mature in our faith, like I said to you yesterday, once we mature in our faith, it's that faith-seeking understanding. Remember I said that yesterday to you? Faith-seeking understanding. Once we mature in the faith, how free do we become? Religious freedom. How free do we become? So today, as we celebrate the 14th Sunday in Ordinary Time, and we look at Mark's Gospel about they took offense at Jesus, maybe we have to say to ourselves, do I take offense at Jesus? Do I render to God what is God's? Do I include him in everything, even in my civil life? Am I only Catholic on Sunday? What happens to me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? How does this all connect into my everyday life? If we want God to do remarkable things in our life, give him permission and do not be offended at him. Welcome him in. Welcome him in. And once that happens, life is changed, not ended. Have a nice day, everybody. Happy 4th.